Tribe, how you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button and I'll be like this video. This is going to be your review of the Real Housewives of New Jersey, Season 13, Episode 9. So we start this episode off, we have Dolores and we have Paulie. Now listen, we love Paulie. Y'all know Dolores is my favorite. Last season, she made me mad a little bit, but she is still overall my favorite housewife on this particular franchise. And I love Paulie because they look like they living their best life. Paulie got a nice spot. You know, he pushing his Rolls Royce in his driveway, all that good stuff. So, Paulie is recovering very well from his heart surgery. Dolores is taking care of her man, all that good stuff. So, they get to talking about what happened down at, you know, the Jersey Shore. And, you know, she's telling him about all the fights and arguing and stuff. And then she says, you know, Frank was really upset. And Paulie is like, listen, I'm going to need Frank to just get over it. Like, I'm not in the business of holding no grown-ass man's hand. I'm not going to sit here and explain, justify, defend. I don't want to be his friend. I'm dating you. You are his ex-husband, and that is it. But then we find out that his ex-wife is a little clingy. And Dolores is kind of like, well, she does call you a lie. So I feel like both of them may have some ties they need to cut. But Frank is definitely... That situation Frank has is just ridiculous. We know that. So then we see, she talks about meeting up with Jennifer. She said, you know, I'm tired of fighting with Jennifer. You know, I got to the point where I was just ignoring Jennifer because it was just getting us nowhere. Because Jennifer likes to just pick, and I don't have the energy for her. But she did say, let's talk. So we're going to sit down. We're going to try to squash it, and move forward, right? So then we see Rachel. Rachel is getting her daughter ready for school. She got her little book bag and everything, and it's all cute and stuff. And then we see her and her husband talking. We find out that her husband had multiple businesses, and you know, he's more like street, she's more corporate, but it works for them and their dynamic and their money making situation. So then we see her talking about the oldest son, his oldest son, right? She wants to formally adopt him. And her husband is like, that's cool, that's great, but we have to get the mom to sign off. And she was like, why? Like, she doesn't even live around here. She hasn't taken care of him. He said, yeah, but she never signed over her parental rights. So she's still legally his mom. Like, you can't adopt him while he has a mother. And so they were saying that they're going to have to, you know, go see an attorney so they can get it all straightened out because that's what they want to do. And I can respect that. And, you know, I don't know this woman, his mother, so I can't speak ill or speak badly on her. I don't know what her situation is or what the problem is, but I can respect the fact that you raised this young man and you want to be his formal mom. Like, I can always respect that. So we see Dolores and Jennifer meeting up, and they agree to just squash the situation. You know, Jennifer said, I just felt like you didn't have my back. You know, you were cheated on, and so you of all people should understand what that feels like, and I just felt like you didn't support me and you weren't there for me. And Dolores was like, but I did. But I was. She said, I did speak up for you. And she did. Dolores really did. Like, Jennifer, I don't know what season you watched, but that was part of the reason why I was getting irritated with Dolores, because I did feel like Dolores kind of had Jennifer's back, even in situations where I felt like Jennifer was being unreasonable. But I also feel like, I think when Dolores finally hit her, like, I'm sick of all of this moment, that is when Jennifer was like, oh, well, you are not there for me. Girl, you can't pick and choose. Like, I was there for you 99% of the time. You can't pick the point one that I wasn't there. But anyway, they agreed. Child, let me get to my notes. Child. I got 4 pages of notes from a whole nother situation, child. Here we go. So, yeah. So then Dolores said, well, yeah, you know, Jackie told me that you and Bill were kind of going through some things. And baby, I just knew that she was going to blow up on Jackie. I knew she was going to be mad and be ready to cuss Jackie out. But she kind of just went along with it and was like, yeah. But listen, I know Jennifer. Jennifer put that thing in her back pocket and she's going to hold on to it for the right moment. Don't think that she forgot that Jackie done told Dolores what she said to her. She put that in her back pocket. But it works for her right now. So she uses that, I mean, not uses it, but she starts explaining that, you know, Bill is very critical of her. He criticizes everything she does, and even, you know, he doesn't spend time with the family. He's not there. And Dolores was like, well, he's going to have to find some time. And she said, well, even when he does have time, He chooses to hang out in the pool house rather than be in the house with us. And I feel like that's rather than being in the house with you. But okay, girl. So they decided that the ladies have been fighting way too much, and Jennifer wants to do a reading, like a psychic reading with the woman who reads the tea leaves, like you drink the tea, and then the leaves that are left at the bottom of the cup, she reads them. I've heard of this before. I've never had it done, but I've heard of it before. She said, but honestly, I just don't want Margaret in my house. So Dolores was like, child, I'll host it. That's fine. I'll be the peacemaker. I'll be the mediator. I don't mind having it at my house. So that's what they're going to plan, child. That's what they got going on. So then we see Melissa and Joe at her house. They go into their new house. We see the house as it's coming along. And Melissa tells Joe that she's going to do a pop-up shop for Danielle for her couture kids line or whatever the situation is. And then they get to talking about Danielle and how she left and in a huff. And then they talked about how they found out that after they left the party last week, Louis was crying. Now listen. They showed the clip of Louis coming back after Joe and Melissa pulled off, and him crying and them hugging him, and his face was red and those tears was coming down, and he was like, I just don't like this energy. I just want it to be better. I just want us to be better. Y'all, I'm really not trying to be a itch about the situation. I'm really not trying to be disrespectful of his feelings. But what I am going to be, Louis, it's something with Louis. Listen, I can't put my finger on it. I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it. But baby, it is something with this Louis situation that just don't sit right in my spirit. I don't know this man. And I'm not even talking about the stuff that came out about him last year. But something about him just comes off very fake. For lack of a better word, just fake. This whole... Listen, I forgot to mention this last week. And I cannot believe I forgot to mention it. When this man told Joe, do you know that I wear your father's pajamas to help the girls, to comfort the girls because of them losing their grandfather? Can we explore that we didn't spend enough time on that? Myself included. Like, I feel like Joe didn't spend enough time on that. Maybe they edited it out. I feel like other reviewers that I watched didn't spend enough time on that. Can we talk? My chains are all, it's getting on my nerves now. Can we talk for a minute about how crazy that is that you are walking around in your fiance's deceased father's pajamas to comfort the girls? Now, first of all, it still would be crazy, but I could see if those girls were babies and they were really dealing with the loss of their grandfather and they were really trying to process it. So you went out and bought some pajamas like his. Like his. Let me say it one more time for the people in the back. Like his. Not his actual pajamas, but pajamas like his. You are walking around in this man's pajamas to comfort a bunch of teenagers. Like, Gia is damn near a college graduate, and I think the youngest daughter is in high school. Like, these aren't kids. And the man has been, no disrespect, but the man has been gone for years. Like, they still need you to... Okay. I'm gonna just put that to the side. Moving on. So we see Danielle talking to Teresa. Teresa has the Roni wrong, so she wasn't in this episode. She tested positive. They talked about, and again, you know how they do those back and forth scenes. So while Joe and Melissa are talking at the house, Danielle is talking to Teresa. We see her going through her clothes, getting ready for her pop-up shop. Now we find out that Dina is no longer going to be in the wedding because there was a bad business deal between Louis and Dina's husband. And Joe is like, it's the piece of business 2.0. It's the piece of business 2.0. Now, last week, I was kind of critical of Joe because I felt like maybe Joe was putting 20 on 10 when it came to the business with Louis. But now I have to look at Louis and be like, okay, that's two businesses that went south. Now, I don't know all the details, but listen, if it's always you, if you are always the common denominator, then maybe you might be the problem, but I don't know. But anyway, so we find that out. And because of that, she asked Dolores and Jennifer to be bridesmaids. Now, this becomes a situation when we get down to the tea reading party. Now, first of all, everybody comes in and they talk about how gorgeous Paulie's house is. Now, let's be clear. It is beautiful. It's a beautiful home. It's very modern. Looks like it's like a townhouse, but it looks like one of them like $2-3 million townhomes. I have some friends of mine that live in a 5-story townhome with the roof, the deck, you know, like Louis had. I mean, like Paulie has like the rooftop deck, and it's got an elevator and all that. It's beautiful, right? And I say that because I think sometimes people hear townhomes and they think a certain thing, but baby, this thing is bad. You hear me? Anyway, so, and I don't even know, is that the term? Is it a time? Whatever. Anyway, but while they're there, the first thing that comes out is, and Jennifer can't wait, and I feel like Jennifer did it to just throw it in Melissa's face, because of course we know the whole thing was Melissa being a bridesmaid, right? So she couldn't wait to let them know that her and Dolores were going to be bridesmaids in the wedding. And Melissa was like, Dolores, girl, you weren't even invited to the engagement party. And Dolores was like, I know, I don't care. And Melissa brought up a valid point. So Teresa gonna tell them, I had a vision when I was meditating and I was thinking about my wedding and I saw you guys as bridesmaids. Melissa was like, it's real convenient. It's a real convenient vision all of a sudden now that you saw them being bridesmaids when you and Dina fell out and you no longer have a bridesmaid, right? That's real convenient. Now I must agree with Melissa on this one. That it is convenient that all of a sudden now you got space for 2 bridesmaids. Mind you, you still ain't asked Melissa. But, child, at this point, do we really want Melissa to be a bridesmaid? Anyway, so, and I don't know, somebody, I'm going to have to reach out to Yocrates or somebody that can give me the cliff notes on what happened between Dolores and Dina. Because Dolores was like, I'm not even going to speak that woman's name. And her confessional, they asked her, she said, yeah, I'm not ever talking about her. So whatever happened between the two of them must be deep. Because Dolores was like, yeah, I'm not ever talking to her or about her. Anyway, they're going to go to Ireland, right? You know how we got to do our group trip. So their group trip is to Ireland, which is great. Ireland is on my bucket list. I want to go to Ireland. Ireland, it's not high on my bucket list, but it's like in the top. It's probably in the top 7 of places that I want to go that I haven't been, right? It's definitely on the list. So they're going to Ireland. Dolores said that Paulie took her there for Valentine's Day. I said, God darn. I said, I ain't even get nobody to take me to an Irish pub for Valentine's Day, and you went to Ireland. I am here for it. Listen, I need me a Paulie in my life. I need to find me one. 2024, I'm claiming it. Is this, no, what year? 2023, I'm claiming it. Maybe it is going to be 2024. Because that's what came out my mouth. That was what year. So 2024. Okay, moving on. So, Danielle, okay, so everybody shows up, right? Everybody shows up. Oh, your house is beautiful, blah, 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 blah. The only thing that really was major was that Danielle shows up and they were talking about her girl. They were still talking about Danielle and the brother situation and not understanding, like, they weren't saying that the story was a lie. They just said it was something missing and they didn't understand the story and why she had to huff out, why she had to walk out. And of course, they're talking about her just as she shows up. I'm sure that was great editing, you know. They all decide to go in and they're going to get ready to do this tea reading situation. The food is great, blah, blah, blah. So, listen, Jennifer, girl. The thing about psychics is this. If you believe, you believe. If you don't, you will find a way to not believe. So what I mean by that is, a psychic could say to me, oh, the spirits are telling me that your favorite color is blue. And in my mind, I could be like, well, she probably just went and saw a lot of my pictures on social media and saw that I wear blue a lot and took a wild guess, right? Or I could say, she knows me. So it's really all about whether you are ready to believe and receive it, right? So the first person who she read was Dolores. She said, I see a ring. I see a ring very soon. Okay, well, that was a pretty good guess because you're literally sitting in this woman's house. You know that's her boyfriend. You were there setting up. You got there early. You maybe saw their interactions. You may have even asked them a few questions. Oh, are you guys married? Oh, how long you guys been together? I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm just saying it was very easy for her to come up with, oh, you're going to get a ring soon. Okay. Then she went to Rachel, and she said, well, I see a V. Something big happening. Some victory is going to come to you. She said either in the next 3 months or in the next 3 years. Well, that's a wide berth. 3 months, 3 years? And she said, well, we are going to see an attorney, and we're trying to adopt my oldest son. You know, we're trying to go through the formal process of adoption. And she was like, yeah, that's what it is. So you're saying that either they're going to get the mother to sign off on the papers in 3 months, or they have to actually go through the court process, and it's going to take 3 years? Is that what you're saying? So then they get to Margaret, and this is when everybody started being like, all right, Jennifer, you set this up, girl. So she's going to tell Margaret, I see an L. I see an L, and I see betrayal. I see the word betrayal. I see somebody stabbing you in your back, but I see reconciliation. So they are all laughing because, of course, the woman that has been running around telling all of Margaret's business to Jennifer and Teresa, her name is Laura. And so they were like, so everybody now is like, okay, Jennifer, good try, but you really set all of this up. And Jennifer was like, I didn't set this up. I don't even know her. Why would y'all say that? So then we get to Jennifer, and she says she sees the word endorsements. And she sees, I see that you have a great opportunity for many, many endorsements, but you're choosing to take care of your family. And then, of course, the editors take us back to that big argument that her and Margaret had, where she was telling Margaret that people want her more than they want Margaret, and that she's got opportunity at all of these great endorsements, and she's had a chance to do all of these endorsements, and Margaret just doesn't, can't do it, and Margaret doesn't have none of this. And I was like, so of course everybody now is just side-eyeing her like, Jennifer, girl. It was a lot. Then Danielle, they said, I see a conflict with a family member, maybe a brother of some sort. It just seemed really, really, really obvious that this woman had been given information. Now, either she's that great of a psychic, which she may very well be. Again, if you believe, you believe. So either she's that great of a psychic, or somebody gave her some information. Because the stuff was very, very specific. Now, the one thing I say, that I've never been to, like I don't make it a habit of going to psychics and stuff. But I do know people who do go to psychics, and I have seen psychics. They tend to keep things general. You were being very specific. I don't know. Maybe it's me. Maybe I was going to the wrong psychics. I don't know. Well, I was watching the wrong psychics. I don't know, child. So anyway, then we get into this whole thing between Rachel and Danielle again, where Danielle is once again trying to make Rachel out to be this horrible person, and she betrayed me, and she did this and she did that to me, and how dare she, and this is so horrible for her to do this, and how could she do this to me? And Rachel was like, girl, all I did was I just let them know what you were saying. And she was like, yeah, but you made it seem like I was just talking shit. She was like, it was just coffee talk. It was girl talk. And now I know I just can't trust you. Now I know I can't trust you. And Rachel was like, look. And Margaret was like, I'm upset because you're basically making it seem like I'm a horrible person, and I'm just out here, like, you know, just putting, you know, hexes on people or something, and I don't like that. I don't appreciate that. Jennifer was like, all she was doing was just repeating information she got. Yeah, from you. The information she got from you. So then they brought up Danielle and her brother again, and once again, we had the same conversation about it's more to the story. They just thought it was more to the story. She was like, listen, I know it sounds crazy because I said the same thing, and it is crazy, but that's what happened. That's the truth. That's it. Like, why can't we just leave it at that? And everybody's like, girl, whatever. If you like it, we love it. And that's pretty much where the episode ended. Next week, it looks like they're on their way to Ireland, child. They said that they're going to, that Dolores was like, now that I'm a bridesmaid, I want to do something nice for Teresa, and we're going to do her bachelorette stuff out of the country. I was like, oh, Lord. So all next week, for the next 2 weeks, it's going to be all about Teresa and this damn wedding. I told y'all at the beginning of this season, I wasn't doing this with this wedding. I told y'all that. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.